The question we chose about the book The Lord of the Flies was the relationship between the two leaders, Jack and Ralph. To be able to talk about this, we have to talk about them first. So we have to say that at the beginning of the book, Ralph and Jack are in competition to see who's going to be the group's leader. In the first chapter, the author talks about Jack's characteristics. He says he was tall, thin, and bony, and his hair was red beneath the black cap. His face was crumped and freckled, and ugly without silliness. Out of this face started two light blue eyes, frustrated now and turning or ready to turn to anger.
Beginning, the author says that Jack represents the evil part of a human being, because he is violent since they were in school, and in the island, when he sees that there are no adults in control of the group, he starts to take control by military treatment. One of those things he loves most is hunting, and things start to go wrong when he is forced to work with Ralph, because Ralph has a different way to command the group, something that Jack is not agree with that, and things start to turn bad. But he wasn't leader yet, but then he tells Piggy that he's talking way too much, so Jack suggests he must be leader.
Jack and Ralph first meet on the beach, and after Jack suggested to be the group leader, they decide to make a voting, where Ralph was chosen to be the group leader over Jack, because of the simple fact that Ralph has what it takes to be a natural leader. With this, we mean that Ralph has the attitude and the charisma to afford the leadership of the group and the leadership of the island itself. Meanwhile, that Jack was the leader because the other kids were afraid of him, so they followed to avoid any harm coming from Jack. Other reason why Ralph won the elections is that the kids see in Ralph as a special force of strength and power, and that with that power he could make things go in a good way. Throughout the first chapters, Ralph and Jack decide to go to explore the island, and they decided it was a good island. So they start working together as a team to exhibit their leadership skills. After Ralph is chosen as the leader, he decides to place Jack in charge of his chore as the hunters of the island.
At the first moment, Jack didn't realize that sometime there would be a voting to choose a leader, so he decided to not take this as a competition. But he confidently stated, I ought to be chief because I'm a chapter choister and head boy. These qualifications may have held up in the adult world, but in the island the boys were looking for something different, someone like Ralph. Jack didn't accept the defeat. It left him to find himself on the losing side of a disagreement when he had always known himself to be a leader, the one with a final and indisputable say. Ralph represented something that Jack had never been faced before, an opponent. Priorities started to change in the island, and the first argument that Jack and Ralph had was over which things was over more important, shelter or hunting. But even though they solved the problem, the conflict between them started to arise. After a long time on the island, Jack and Ralph started having a lot of problems, so they decided to divide the group, and with this, they started hating each other. After some time, Jack decided he wanted to kill Ralph, so he went to the camp and asked for help, but no one really helped him. So Ralph noticed him, and Jack had to run into the woods. While he was in the woods, Ralph decided to put them on fire to kill him, but he survived, and when he woke up, he saw a ship coming close to the island, and the captain of the ship saved them.